girl's gotta eat after she works out, right? Just funny that I end up making a video a lot of times after the gym, and then I'm eating something. In this case, it's apples. I already had my seeds and nuts, just a quarter cup of those. But I was in the gym and I was working out, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder how many people are like me. And what I mean by that is, I wonder how many people, God, the lighting's terrible. Sorry, I'm in my car. How many people are fighting multiple autoimmune diseases or disorders or syndromes or whatever. So, like, I have Sjogren's disease or syndrome, rheumatoid arthritis, I have psoriatic arthritis, I have psoriasis, fibromyalgia. Am I missing something? They say chronic fatigue disorder, but you know what? I mean, with as many diagnoses that I have, I'm gonna have fatigue, especially if I'm having a flare-up. So I was just thinking, I started off, I'm 49, and my very first autoimmune disease was psoriasis as a child. When my mom removed us from San Diego, where I was born, and we went up to like BFE in Humboldt County, North Carolina. Wow, that was a mistake. I have lived in North Carolina though. Northern California. And she was headed to Medford, Oregon. I was like 6, 7. I don't even remember now. As I'm getting older, things are like fading away memory-wise. But I do remember, actually I was 7, when I started having really, really bad, itchy, plaquey, like horrible psoriasis all over my head. Like, it was so bad that it would bleed, and it was thick, and I would like pick at it, and just huge chunks, I know, gross, would like come out of my hair, out of my scalp. And my mom would put like apple cider vinegar and all kinds of shit, and it just burned and it hurt, and she would laugh, and it sucked because it was not fun. And I had it on my hands and my shins and all up in my ears and my face and on my legs. It was fucking awful. It was awful and torturous as a kid. And we moved multiple times, and so I had to go through the harassment multiple times. So I'm probably pretty sure that I have all that psoriasis trauma from childhood stored in my body somewhere. But anyways, going back to autoimmune. And then I just kind of like carried on. And then I got the Epstein-Barr virus, mono, probably in college, because I was in college when I was diagnosed with it. And I was 31, 32. I'm not quite sure. After I recovered from that, which took me several months, they put me on a biological for the psoriasis. Heaven send was, it was a miracle to me, for me. For the first time in my life, was I 31? No, I could have swore I was in my 20s. Late 20s, up to 31. Anyways, I had never felt pretty. I didn't know what it was like to feel pretty. It was a godsend. I felt like the heavens had opened up and finally blessed me with clear skin. And I would no longer be made fun of for that. But lo and behold, I ended up getting, from the mono, Epstein-Barr, whatever. Epstein-Barr stays in your system, like it stays in your nervous system and your spinal fluid. I'm pretty sure almost everything stays in your spinal fluid now, it seems like. But just lurking and waiting to like strike like a snake. But that incident, that illness triggered psoriatic arthritis. Now, you can have psoriasis and not get psoriatic arthritis, or you can have PSA, the psoriatic arthritis, and not have psoriasis. But they are cousin diseases. And here I was, just kind of going along with my life. And then at the age of 36, I moved to Oregon from California. And I did pretty good for a little while. 999 on that car. Been seeing a lot of angel numbers. I don't know if anybody is like into angel numbers or not, but if you are, what is 999? In fact, I got to a point in Oregon in 2013 and 2013, 18 months, I was not on anything. I was on a very, very healthy Mediterranean style diet. And God, back then I could walk like 8 miles a day, and I would swim and lift weights and go hiking. My stress was very, very low and controlled for the most part. Don't get me wrong, there were still very hellacious times due to relationships, but I had that disease, right? So now I had the psoriasis when I was a kid, and then I got sick, and then I got the Epstein-Barr, and I got sick, and I developed the PSA, the psoriatic arthritis. Going along my life, and then I finally ended up catching, or developing, I should say, fibromyalgia, which really sucked. Then, I would say 2021, I had to get vaccinated. I did the one and done that was required, the J&J, and I seemingly, and I don't know, it could be coincidental or not, because I was working a fucking shit ton of hours. I mean, a ton of hours during COVID. High stress, physical, mentally, emotionally, exhausting on so many levels, because it wasn't just work that was crazy. My personal life was crazy. My adopted brother killed himself in our house. My son was trying to kill himself 1 to 2 times a year for a few years. Like, it was intense. And so I don't know if it was all of that plus I was going through menopause, and I had already had these other autoimmune conditions, right? So I ended up getting diagnosed January of 2024. God, the years are just kind of like melting together for me. And yeah, it was 2024. Excuse me. I was diagnosed with the Sjogren's and the rheumatoid arthritis. So if anybody knows anything about Sjogren's, it is related to, it's usually secondary to psoriatic, or not, rheumatoid arthritis. Good God, I can't talk. That's actually part of the problem I'm having, is memory and speech stuff. So anyways, I know this is a very long video, but it's very, very important for anybody out there who has had one autoimmune morphed into another, morphed into another, morphed into another. I mean, I have several that I can relate to other people with. Sadly, also, menopause has affected my memory in the fall of, summer to fall of 2023. My body had one last extremely jarring, stressful event when my son tried to kill himself and almost succeeded that summer. And my body crashed. And that's when I dropped like a shit ton of weight, not on purpose. My lungs went to hell. my vision started getting worse. And then a few months later, and I couldn't remember anything. And the doctor said, oh, you have pseudo dementia, which is very scary because it's like having dementia, but it is brought on by stress. So I literally cannot deal with stress very well. And then it was a couple months after that is when I had a new rheumatologist who did a bunch of blood work and came up with, oh, you have the RA and the Sjogren's and the fibromyalgia and the psoriatic arthritis with the psoriasis. I mean, it was a lot to hear and deal with. And I was still working and still trying to do the best I could. And then finally last summer, I started crashing physically, and I couldn't keep up. And so my hours got dropped to very, very little, 14 hours a week. And then eventually laid off in November of last year. And I haven't worked since. I'm waiting on disability to come through, which they're literally finally at the determination office working on my case as we speak. So I should know something within the next month. But anybody who's out there, anybody at all, who is suffering from menopausal problems, and a lot of autoimmune problems that has really debilitated your life or has rearranged it in some way, please, please, please reach out, because I want to start a group and I want to start advocating for us, because I don't feel like we have enough advocacy. And I feel like doctors, especially with women, they want to lump everything into, you're going through menopause and you have an autoimmune, and then that's it. You know, it's a pill or whatever. And it's very, very, very discouraging. And so please, please, please reach out to me. And if you know of any organizations that are already advocating for females who have autoimmune issues, menopause issues along with that, please let me know, because I would love to reach out to them and be a helping hand for that, because it is near and dear to my heart as I am physically going through it myself. So welcome aboard, whoever you are who wants to join this journey and who is struggling too. Let's do this together. All right, much love. Peace for now. Bye.